a few little interesting stories that have happened here. Today, we were waiting on the shuttle bus. I got on the shuttle maybe 10, 12 minutes early just because I wanted to make sure I got it, because otherwise I would have had to pay for a cab to get back to the hotel. And the shuttle's free, so we were just kind of hanging out on the shuttle, or the big tour bus, and one of the guys got out just to get some air, and he was went around to the front of the bus, and he was tapping on the window because there were some cracks in the windshield. And then as soon as he went down, and I guess he was going to make a phone call or something, one of the guys leaned over and honked the horn. And you know, the horns on those big buses are just really, really loud. And the guy was sitting like right in front of the engine, and it scared the crap out of him. It was funny. And so like everyone on the front of the bus laughed. And and then a couple other funny stories I forgot to mention. When we were at dinner the other night, last night, some of the other guys were telling some stories, and one of these guys, he says he was over in Miami, and I guess he was playing in a tournament there, and he played in a pro-am or something, and I guess he meant like a really wealthy, well-to-do financial business guy from New York who's down in Miami, and the guy invited him out. Was like, "Hey, you want to come out for a beer?" This is to my buddy. So he goes, "Yeah, okay, I'll go out for a beer." So he went out for a beer, and then like one turned into two, and then two turned into three, and they were just like drinking all kinds of beer. And then all of a sudden the guy's like, "Hey, you want to go to this club or whatever?" And the guy's like, "Sure, why not?" And so he goes out to the club with him, and it turns out it's like some Playboy Club or something in Miami, and he gets in, and you know, I guess he went into all this place, and then he's like seeing all these girls around, and he's just like, whoa. So he excuses himself to the bathroom for a couple minutes, and then he comes out and he sees this business guy. He's at a table, and there's like, it's just him, and there's 10 playmates on one side, 10 on the other side, and there's like 10 bottles of champagne on the table, and the business guy's like, "Hey, come on over." And the guy gets all, the golfer buddy gets all excited, and I guess they started drinking with all of them, and then he was able to, the business guy was like, "Hey, I got you a private room with one of the girls. Which one do you want?" So he was like, "Well, I like that one's nice, and I like that one, and that one's pretty nice. I don't know." He's like, "Well, why don't you take all three of them? Go into the room there." So he went. He got all three of these playmates back in his room, or back in his private room, and I guess he came out later, and something was like, "Hey, it's 1 o'clock. Do you want to get going? Do you want to leave?" And I guess he was thinking it was one in the morning, but it was actually 1 the next day. So he's like, yeah, I guess we should go. And so the guy ended up paying the bill, and the bill for the night was $34,000. And I guess the guy just was like, took his card and swiped it, and it was done. So that he was kind of telling the story about one of his best nights ever. And then one of the other guys was playing. He played in a number of European Tour events, and he said I guess it was at the Russian Open. I don't think they have it as an event anymore. It was a number of years ago. But anyway, I guess there was like 20 players or something, and I don't know whether they missed the cut or stayed around, or I don't know, something happened where there's like 20 guys and 20 players, and then the tournament people got them like, I guess because they were the only ones that stayed around, they got all these women. There were 50 prostitutes lined up for all the players. So I guess all the players got to have whatever kind of fun they wanted to have, and so the next year apparently all the players wanted to come to the event and like stay around, of course. But apparently they didn't have all the women in that tournament. So that was another kind of funny story. So a couple funny stories that happened today. So the rest of the night I'm gonna just get on the internet, get some work done, get to bed probably, and then get up in the morning and just go do some practice tomorrow. I guess the next time I'll check in, next video I'll do is probably after the first round. So we'll see you then.